Hi guys, Josh here with True Zone Trade, and today I want to talk about a very um important yet basic topic. I want to talk about engulfs versus fakeouts. So I'm going to start out by just kind of talking about the engulf and what the engulf is. And in this case, I'm not talking about an engulfing candle. We're not talking about candles. We're talking about reading price. And an engulf is simply the clearing out of an important area. So we've talked about the FTR, we've talked about flag limits, um, and we know that those are important areas that we look for price to turn. But when these areas are engulfed, we know that all of the orders are cleared out and price is ready to move in the direction of the engulf. So let's say, for instance, we have a bearish flag limit here that's been holding price down. Price comes back. This, and then we see price come up. It breaks our flag limit and then it continues down in this direction. Guys, this is an engulf. We see that we have engulfed our flag limit, our bearish flag limit. The whole goal of that bearish flag limit was to hold price down. And we can see that price engulfed it and cleared out all of the orders. So what does this mean? This means that there are no more orders in this flag limit. They're all gone. So price is ready and free to move up. Price is free to come down to, let's say there was a bullish flag limit here. Price is free to go from here up to our next target, which will be another bearish flag limit. That's an engulf. An engulf is a clearing out of the levels. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look in the chart and we're going to take a look at a few engulfs. So by now, I would hope you've seen the other videos that are a part of this series where we talk about flag limits and how to find them. And so you know how to identify one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find our first flag limit here. We're going to find this one. Why? This is a key area. We broke that um, little flag limit here that broke that level. And we have a little flag limit here. We have if I can get it on top there. Price came down, retrace, pulled down, tested our what would have been an FTR and pushed price back down below the low, turning this into a flag limit. So this is our flag limit. We see that price came back. It got rejected here as well. But then here, price engulfed our flag limit before making a retrace and moving higher. So what happened is price came here. When we engulfed this area, we cleared out all of the sell orders that were in this area. There are no more sell orders here. The ITs are not looking at selling here anymore because they cleared that out. And what it did was it made way for price to go higher. So the importance of the engulf is we want to make sure that we're always, always, always trading into the direction of the engulf. We want to make sure that price engulfs. We wait for the pullback to a true zone or flag limit and price. Then we trade price in the direction of the engulf. The engulf is our telltale sign that the ITs are ready to move price into the next direction. We know that once the zone is engulfed, flag limit is engulfed, no more orders. Price is ready to move from past that past that flag limit to the next flag limit. Another example would be here. We have this area here, held price down. We held price down multiple times here. Price engulfed it. Where did it go? Came back down here. And price moved up. Price went into the direction of the engulf. Where did it go? If we were to track orders, we would see that we have a little flag. This is a flag limit here. This is a key area here. As we have that level held price up. We can see, I'm going to still this for a second. We can see that this area here was broken. And this, guys, is a price action zone. I'm not talking about price action zones in the video today, but I just want to show you how we would have predicted where price was going to go after the engulf. We have our price action zone here. To where we broke into our price action zone, price retraced. So this will be our little flag limit here. Okay, we're going to do this right. I don't want to see. Break into it here. We got to retrace here. So this will be our flag limit. And guys, I'm not talking about price action zones in this video. We talk about that in our Discord group. So we see that we had our price action zone there. We see we had the break of it here, which is a swap, our swap flag limit. We broke it, we pulled back here. And price engulfed this flag limit, retrace, and where did it go? It went to our next flag limit. So we know that price moves from flag limit to flag limit, but in order to get to that next flag limit, we have to engulf one area, and that lets us know that price has cleared out the orders and price is ready to go in that other direction. Now, there are times in which price may look like it engulfed an area, and it didn't. It faked out the engulf into a true zone and continued in the direction of what one would have thought would not have been an engulf. So let's see if we can find an example of that, guys. I did not mark anything before this video. I typically don't because I don't want to cherry pick. So let's see. I'm going to clear this out. If we can find a good example of an engulf, of a fake out, and we actually have one here. So let's see. We have price. We held price up here. This is our flag limit here. Held price up. And what do we do? We got the engulf here. Right? We got an engulf here. And then if you watch the other video, we know that a flag limit's created off of the swap. The swap of a flag limit is another flag limit. So we have another flag limit here that held price up, but then we saw price went higher here. It came down and it did what looks like an engulf of this flag limit. Well, guys, in this case, this is not an engulf. This is a fake out because price faked out to what we like to call a true zone. These are the best areas to take trades from because we know that there were stops under here. We knew the ITs were going to want to push price below here to the true zone. And guys, I'm not going to really going into how we find true zones or how we find define true zones because that is very, very advanced, and that's topic that we save for the Discord, but we can see that price actually faked out into a true zone. Not going to go into why that's a true zone, and continued higher. So it's important to know the difference between an engulf and a fake out, because a lot of times there are some times where price could engulf, which one would have thought it did here. Because typically you want price to engulf into space. We want space in that engulf. We don't want it to be in a zone. We want it to be somewhere in space, so to speak. We want some room to trade in a direction of the engulf. And we can see here in this point that some might have thought this was an engulf, but we traded right into a true zone. And like I said, I'm not going into how we would have defined that zone. And then price continued up, where had this been an engulf and not a true zone and not reacted to our true zone, one would have looked to take a trade in this area to push price back down. So an engulf fake out, we know that an engulf is when price clears out an area into space. I want to make that a really, really let you know and pay attention to that. It has to engulf into space versus engulfing into another zone. If price engulfs into another zone, it's not considered an engulf, um, because there was no engulf. It hit this target. It hit where price wanted to go. It didn't break it. So their order's still there. We want to make sure that when price engulfs, it engulfs into space, and we look for the opportunity, which is typically another flag limit. If its price is going up, it's going to be an engulfs a bearish flag limit. We want to see price get to a bullish flag limit to push price past that engulf in the direction of the engulf. So guys, this was a quick video on engulfs and fakeouts. It's very, very important. It seems simple, but it's very important. There is no price action without an engulf. It's plain and simple. So you wouldn't have any direction on where to trade, how to trade, which way to trade. If there's not an engulf, if we trade without one, then we're just trading on chance, and we're gambling and we're betting, and um, we're not trading with a high probability setup. So this was a quick video, part of the mini series on engulfs, how they work, what they are, and how to a quick brief overview of fake outs and how they work. Take care, and I'll see you later.